going on, guys? And gals, I don't want to be sexist. So, How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah, okay. God, that movie's so good. God, it's so great. Okay, so bear with me on this one. Or you used to say, it's a joke, go like a grizzly, and bear with me. It's a bad pun. I apologize now. So, a couple things out of the way first and foremost. Some mild, itty-bitty, just a tiny little bit spoilers occasionally. Nothing too big. Trust me, you've seen it all. If I'm going to mention stuff you've seen in the trailers, that's it. If it's not in the trailers, I ain't talking about it. So, no worries there. So, anyways, with that out of the way, oh my God, go see this movie. Yes, just yes. Go see it. Just stop the review right here. It's a quick review, but still, stop it right now and go see it. Okay, and stop. Yeah, you're still here. Okay, fine. That's fine. We'll talk real briefly. Go see the movie. Jesus Christ, that's such a great film. And not just like a great like animated film, like a great movie and a great movie. See, okay. Once again, first things first. If you're gonna see it, go see it in 3D. Seriously, 3D. You're on the backs of dragons. You want to see them flying at you. You want to be diving and swerving and all that crazy stuff. Along with as you're going under caves and oceans and icebergs and trees and seeing giant stuff fly at your face. It's totally worth it. Pay the extra money. This is a non-option. If you're seeing this film, see it in 3D. Otherwise, you're doing yourself a disservice. So don't be that guy or gal and go see it in 3D. All right, cool. So before we get into the narrative stuff, let me nerd out one small moment over the technical prowess of this film. This is easily one of the best looking 3D animated films I have seen in God knows how long, and that is still comparing it to Pixar's and Disney Animated's recent work. Such good techniques on display here. The particle effects with the different fire and the different dragon breath abilities. Gorgeous. The Viking beards they look just so real, just like mine. Like up close you see them blowing and the wind and all that. It's amazing. And I'm just like, oh my God, this movie looks so gorgeous. Such skill from the animators. DreamWorks really bringing their A game. So good to watch. So fantastic. So, yeah, if for that alone, go see this movie. It's going to be nominated for a visual effects Oscar. I promise you. Not visual effects, the actual animated film. And has good shot at winning. That is if Frozen doesn't take it. I don't know if Frozen's already been nominated or not. I haven't researched that. Regardless, let's move to the narrative. So yeah, it's about dragons. That's cool. Dragons are still cool. Spoilers, I don't mean to ruin this for you. I know you're not in middle school anymore, and maybe some of you are if you're watching this. Hey, cool, thanks for finding me. But seriously, dragons, awesome. Always awesome, always will be awesome. The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, guess what? Movies, okay. Made awesome by dragons. So, like I say, How to Train Your Dragon has dragons. Instantly elevates the movie to better than most, in my mind. But here's the problem with this one. You really should watch the first one beforehand. It's not necessary. They fill you in pretty well most of the time, but seriously, it does clear things up for you. It lets you know, oh, this is who Hiccup is. This is Toothless. This is Astrid. This is his dad. This is sort of some backstory. This is Craig Ferguson's character who makes me happy every time he opens his mouth. Go watch the first one. It's a good movie too. It's not as fantastic. It's not as amazing. It's not as tear-jerkingly wonderful, but it is still a really great movie, and it was a surprise hit when it came out. You should go check it out. But like I said, it clears things up for you. Okay, so assuming that you've done that, the movie picks up 5 years after the first one. Your main character, Hiccup, has grown up, is now a 20-something who is disillusioned with his inevitable future to take over the people of Berk. His dad's very excited to have him take over, having taught everybody about the joys of dragon riding, blah, 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 blah. He doesn't want to be at home. He wants to constantly be exploring, adding to his very cool map that he has been creating of everything. The movie opens up with him saying, since they found dragons, the world's gotten a lot bigger. Which brings me really to my first point. The narrative is incredibly relatable. Despite the fact there's dragons in it, which is obviously incredibly fantastical. Anybody who's been in their 20s, especially early 20s, you sort of realize that your world is much, much bigger than you thought it was. You're at that age where you have everything starting to open up in front of you, and that's what this movie is really keying in on. It's less of a kid's movie at this point. It's very much about a character who's trying to find himself in a world that he realizes is much, much larger than himself. It's a very touchstone moment for the film when you realize that that's what's actually going on here. And it's about him growing up and understanding what that means. There is a certain naivete about Hiccup in this movie that he learns to deal with as it goes on as the story progresses. And it's one of the most relatable storylines and through lines in the entire film. It's really just one part of what makes the narrative so strong. The fact is, the entire time, the bedrock of this film are these relatable moments. So I did warn you, mild, itty-bitty spoilers. He finds his mom in all of this. His mom, who long thought dead, finds out she's been doing her own Greenpeace-y dragon riding thing the entire time, unbeknownst to the family. And so it's about coming to terms with finding someone finding your mother again, right? And what that means and the implications of what that means for family. It's about seeing the family come back together, and all in the face of adversity, and that adversity being the big bad villain who wants to create a dragon army, going against everything, that they stand for, basically. They want to befriend them. This guy wants to dominate them. Once again, a very relatable, very understandable sort of back and forth and dichotomy there. And so the entire time, no matter what's going on in the grander picture, there's this bedrock of the story of growing up and of family and what family means and what makes family. Because of that, there are some Toy Story 3 levels of tear-jerking and heartstring pulling in this film. Stuff that I was not prepared for in the least. I had only seen one trailer for the film. It's my rule. I watch a teaser and then I watch the actual trailer and then I'm done. But even knowing what little I did, I was unprepared for what this movie threw at me. And boy, does it throw you some stuff. No, I'm not telling you what. No, I'm not saying what happens, but Jesus, this movie takes you in twists and turns and makes you laugh, makes you cry, makes you scream out multiple times over, and takes you on this emotional roller coaster ride that you just don't see coming. And it's so refreshing to see a movie do that, especially a movie that's targeted towards kids. But there are themes tackled in this film that no kid is going to really grasp, at all. Let me mention this. I saw it in a theater late at night, a late night showing of a children's movie, which is a weird thing to begin with, but there was basically, the majority of us were all adults, and it was a pretty full house, and there might have been a handful of kids. We heard them behind us at a couple points. Throughout the entire film, not only was I, but the entire theater was clapping, screaming, cheering and crying and just sighing with angst and emotion and just roaring when great things happened, because it just connected so well with the viewers, with us. And the entire time, yes, we're laughing at the goofy, oh, haha, that one's biting him and licking his face and these little kid jokes, but the entire time, it's just constantly pushing you and pulling you in its emotional roller coaster. And it's awesome. It's so good. Here's the crazy thing. The one thing that blew my mind just a hair more than anything else, in all of the trailers that I saw, and I've watched a bunch after the fact to see if this holds true, they don't show a single thing from the third act of that movie. That's it. They don't. you haven't seen anything from the ending of this movie at all. A lot of trailers will just ruin the end of a movie in its trailers, and because they will tell too much. This one, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's coming, and boy, is it good. It's just, there is a point at the end of this film where the entire theater just erupted, and it was a magical, amazing moment, and you have no clue, none, that it is ever, you don't even see it coming, and it's like, you're just like, yes, oh, yes, so great, yes, so good. Go see this movie. You should have shut this off already and gone and seen this. If you're still watching, thank you. Thank you for watching. If you like it, please, like it. Comment below. This is me typing. See, it's super easy. Talk back to me. Let me know if you want me to review anything specific, like whether it's a movie or some other random thing. I'm open to whatever. Share if you feel so inclined. I do these more for me than anything, but if you think it's funny enough or cool enough or whatever enough, weird enough to send it to your bros and brodettes, by all means, do it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this as always. Thanks again. I'm going to get back to these jalapeno chips because I need to clear out some nasal passages of mine. Oh God, that's legit. Have a great night, everybody.